the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
AFP PCG to deploy thousands for Feast of Jesus Nazareno security. 802nd Infantry Brigade dismantles 2 NPA platoons in Samar. SSS hike takes effect this month. Comlink assures poll preparation not derailed as it addresses concerns over disqualification cases.
Good day everyone, as well to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo, Quezon City. Today is Monday, January 6, 2025, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates of the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rob Suzanabai, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and Philippine Coast Guard will deploy over 1,000 personnel to secure the Feast of Jesus Nazareno on January 9, particularly during the Traslacion procession from Quirino Grandstand to Quiapo Church. The AFP's Joint Task Force National Capital Region will field troops from the Army, Navy, and Marines for patrols, crowd safety, and rapid response, while the PCG will station personnel and boats along the Pasig River and bridges to assist the 40,000-strong Philippine National Police contingent. AFP and PCG representatives said that this collaboration ensures a safe celebration for millions of devotees expected this year.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 802nd Infantry Brigade successfully dismantled the Bugsok and the Poy platoons, the last remaining New People's Army formations of SRC Sesame Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee. Relocating its headquarters to Barangan City last June 2023, the brigade, supported by the 3 battalions, neutralized 47 New People's Army fighters, seized 87 firearms, and cleared Samar's southern half through combat, intelligence, and peace engagements. Programs like Free Families and Wish Upon a Star encouraged 43 surrenders, aiding their reintegration via ECLIP and other support programs. The platoons were officially declared dismantled last December 2024. Brigadier Noel Vestuir commended the troops and stakeholders for fostering peace and ensuring community safety in Eastern Visayas.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Shai about DND aims to strengthen sovereignty, modernization in 2025.
Yes, good afternoon. Defense Secretary Gilbert Chodoro Jr. reaffirmed the Department of National Defense commitment in protecting national sovereignty and advancing military modernization during the New Year's call at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. He urged the DND and Armed Forces of the Philippines to counter distortions in narratives, particularly amidst China's claims in the West Philippine Sea. He also stressed that they must not allow the Philippines to be subjected to any distortions. On the other hand, AFP Chief General Romeo Browner Jr. outlined 2025 priorities, including acquiring modern attack aircraft, Navy vessels, and missile systems to boost defense capabilities while adhering to international law. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shai.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 3rd Infantry Spearhead Division, led by Major General Marion Season, loaded the Special Task Group on countering CTG resource generation for Region 6 for fighting terrorism financing cases against CTG-linked organizations. 3 individuals were arrested under warrants issued by RTZ Branch 31 Iloilo City for violating the anti-terrorism financing law. These arrests mark a critical step in cutting off the financial resources for CTG operations in Western Visayas. Major General Season praised the STG-CCRG's efforts in exposing and dismantling deceptive terror financing networks disguised as legitimate organizations, emphasizing the need for vigilance and collaboration to combat terrorism.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Negros Occidental Police apprehended two personalities for alleged violations of the Terrorism Financing Prevention and Suppression Act of 2012 or the RA 10168. Federico Salvilla, Perla Pavillar, and Daryl Abalnes are reportedly linked to the NGO Paghida at Sakauswagan Development Group, which is accused of financial dealings with the New People's Army, the armed wing of the Communist Party of the Philippines. The arrests follow cases filed last December by the Police Regional Office 6 against the suspects and two others in Iloilo City. Police Brigadier General Jack Wanke emphasized that cutting financial support is critical to dismantling the CPP-MPA.
Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from Bay about JRTF-11 LCAC boosts strategic communication to counter fake news.
Yes, Rof, the Joint Regional Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict in Davao Region is strengthening its strategic communication cluster to combat fake news and highlight Mindanao's progress. Secretary Leo Tereso A. Magno, chairperson of the Mindanao Development Authority and JRTF-11 LCAC, emphasized the importance of accurate information during the task force's recent meeting. He said that their goal is to deliver truth and development stories to the public. Moreover, the Philippine Information Agency outlined 2024 initiatives, including countering communist propaganda and promoting good governance in affected communities. This Beatrice reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 10th Infantry Aguila Division showed its support for education and community growth by distributing gifts to 40 indigenous people scholars of the Tatag IP Students Foundation in Mawab, Davao de Oro. Led by Lieutenant Colonel Melchor Torino, the 10th ID Division chaplain, the event provided clothing and footwear to the scholars. They emphasized education's role in uplifting families and shielding communities from negative influences like the New People's Army. The gifts were donated by Aguila troopers through collections during Misa de Gallo and Sunday services last December 2024.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, officials of the National Capital Region Police Office and Manila Police District led the conduct of the final walkthrough for the procession route of Traslacion 2025. This is to ensure that safety measures are in place for the devotees who will participate in the event. The walkthrough began at the Carino Grandstand and continued all the way to Quiapo Church. Police authorities emphasize that as devotees will be walking barefoot during the Traslacion, the streets must be clear of any obstacles that could cause injury. They also said all overhanging wires that could potentially get caught in the floating carrying the revered image of the Jesus Nazarene will be removed.
Armed Forces Radio.
And from NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne about NFNL visits troops based in northernmost part of the country.
The Philippine Navy visited its personnel based in the northernmost part of the Philippines in northern Luzon. Commodore Edward de Sagon, commander of Naval Forces Northern Luzon, led the visit to the Philippines Navy's northernmost detachment in Batanes. The Philippine Navy official inspected various detachments, including the 30th Marine Company in Basco and Marine Detachment in Itbayat. These detachments oversee Philippine waters in northern Luzon, specifically the Luzon Luzon Strait, which separates the Philippines and Taiwan. This sea connects the West Philippine Sea to the country's western seaboard and the Philippine Sea to its eastern seaboard. The Philippine Navy recognized the sacrifices and dedication of Navy personnel and soldiers who continuously guard the country's territory, even missing holidays with their families. The visit to remote detachments is also to honor the personnel who remain committed to their sworn duties to protect our territory despite celebrating holidays away from their loved ones. The Naval Forces Northern Luzon remains committed to supporting its troops and ensuring that their sacrifices are honored and celebrated, particularly during this special time of the year. Reporting from Northern Luzon Command, this is John Sagaok for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD National News.
Moreover, the National Capital Region Police Office would deploy more than 14,000 officers to secure the feast of the Black Nazarene in Quiapo, Manila on Thursday, January 9. NCRPO Acting Director Brigadier General Anthony Aberin said the deployment includes 12,168 officers for area and route security, while around 2,306 personnel who would serve as an augmentation force. The route of the annual Black Nazarene procession or traslasyon will remain the same.
DWDD National News.
Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rex Gatchalian declared that ending hunger through the Walang Gutom program would be one of the legacies of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Gatchalian said the Marcos administration is taking a strong stance against undernutrition, malnutrition, and hunger as a whole. The Walang Gutom program was pilot tested in 2023 with some 2,000 household beneficiaries across the country. Last year, the WGP reached 300,000 households, or 100% of the target beneficiaries in 2024.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Solcom, let us hear from Jess about government sick leave program empowers former rebels in Camarines Sur.
The government, in collaboration with the 81st Infantry Spartan Battalion, reaffirmed its commitment to peace and reintegration as two former rebels received livelihood assistance under Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program or ACLIP held in Barangay F. Simeon Ragay, Camarines Sur. The initiative aimed to provide former rebels with opportunities to rebuild their lives and live peacefully with their families and loved ones. The 81st Infantry Battalion actively facilitated the reintegration process, underscoring its dedication to fostering peace and stability in the region. The provision of livelihood assistance serves as a tangible proof of the government's support for individuals who have chosen to abandon armed conflict and work towards a harmonious and progressive society. The battalion commander of the 81st Infantry Battalion reiterated the government's call for the remaining New People's Army members to surrender and rejoin society. He emphasized that the government, with the assistance of the battalion, is ready to help those who lay down their arms and return to their families to live peacefully, contributing to the shared goals of the national development and lasting peace. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess from Solcom.
DWDD National News.
For other development story, the Office of Civil Defense has appealed to Filipinos to take seriously the warnings associated with the shear line in the Intertropical Convergence Zone. OCD Administrator Undersecretary Ariel Nepomuceno cited the need for heightened awareness and preparation as these weather systems continue to significantly impact different parts of the country. Nepomuceno emphasized that with the ongoing reports of flooding and the resulting fatalities, injuries, and destruction of properties across various regions, it is essential that the public take decisive action to prevent further loss of life and damage. He added that the public must not take these water systems lightly as they can be as destructive as typhoons.
DWDD National News.
Contributions of members of the Social Security System and their employers will go up by 15% beginning this month. The employer's share will be 10% higher and the employee's contribution will be 5%. The increase in contributions is allowed under the Republic Act 11199 or the Social Security Act of 2018. SSS explained that the increase will enable the agency to provide better benefits and sustain financial security for its members.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now to your report on the ground about Bayog LGU stakeholders support reintegration of former rebels. Go for the details, Beth Añete.
The Bayug Zamboanga del Sur local government unit assisted 5 former rebels who completed the Friends Rescue, Transformation, and Deradicalization program by the 53rd Infantry Matapat Battalion. The beneficiaries received cash gift, food pack, and hygiene kit. Officials also delivered messages of encouragement and emphasized their commitment to the successful reintegration of former combatants into society. This initiative highlights Bayug LGU's dedication and fostering peace and supporting rehabilitated individuals. This is Bethania reporting for the AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Añete.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, government-owned corporations, particularly major non-financial institutions, received a substantial boost in subsidies in November last year. Based on the data from the Bureau of the Treasury, state subsidies to government-owned and controlled corporations surged to 12.23 billion pesos last November 2024. This is a huge increase from the 6.73 billion pesos recorded a year ago. It was also slightly higher than the 11.97 billion pesos last October.
DWDD National News.
The Bureau of Customs has issued a circular to implement the Philippine-Korea Free Trade Agreement. BOC Commissioner Bienvenido Rubio said the Customs Memorandum Order 11-2024 aims to streamline trade between the two nations by providing clear guidelines on preferential tariff treatment for eligible goods. It outlined the procedures for obtaining preferential tariff rates under the Free Trade Agreement. These include the pre-exportation examination, certificates of origin issuance, approved exporter status applications, origin declaration completion, and verification protocols.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Ferdy about 45th IB joins Maglola 2.0 to support Basilan community.
Good day everyone. The 45th Infantry Gallant Battalion actively participated in the Maglola 2.0 initiative at Badja Central Elementary School in Tipu-Tipu, Basilan. The said activity aims to promote the theme Weaving a Greener Future Together. The program distributed hygiene kits to families of the Badja Weavers Association. Moreover, activities included lively mascot dances, performances by gallant troopers, and assistance from gallant youth leaders volunteers. Relatedly, local officials including Tipu-Tipu's police chief and health officer also attended to show support. This is Ferdy Blues reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Ferdy.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Elections preparations for the upcoming midterm elections continue even as it addresses concerns over disqualification cases and ballot printing schedules. COMELEC Chairperson George Irving Garcia said the names of candidates with pending disqualification or cancellation cases might still be excluded from the final ballot list, provided their cases were resolved before printing. He then gave assurance that the COMELEC would abide by Supreme Court decisions on disqualification cases. However, Garcia noted that reprinting ballots for affected areas might be the only option, but this is costly and time-consuming. The printing of 73 million ballots is scheduled to start on January 8 and is expected to take 77 days to complete.
DWDD National News.
Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla warned the foreign workers of Philippine offshore gaming operators who are still in the country that they will be arrested and deported. Remulla stated that the president is clear the Pogos have no place in the country. He also declared that this administration stands firm in its resolve to intensify its guerrilla operations against non-compliant Pogos. The DOJ chief said the Bureau of Immigration has already started conducting manhunt operations against the remaining foreign Pogo workers who are now considered illegal aliens.
Armed Forces Radio.
And for other updates, let us hear the details about Fort IB soldiers ensure the safe delivery of Mangyan mother in Mindoro. Go ahead, Gina.
Of the 4th Infantry Battalion safely transported a Mangyan mother for childbirth in Sitio Balang, Barangay Benli, Oriental, Mindoro. Troops responded swiftly to Norma Dacle and assisted her to Bulalakaw Community Hospital, ensuring the safety of both mother and child. This act highlights 4IB's commitment in serving indigenous communities and addressing their needs during critical situations. The unit continues to prioritize the welfare of Mindoreños, especially the Mangyan people, through compassionate and dedicated service. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
Camarines Sur 2nd District Representative Ray Villafuerte said the House Speaker Martin Romualdez was being modest when the latter recently reported the House of Representatives' achievements in the 19th Congress. Villafuerte said that Romualdez has failed to mention that legislative productivity in the 19th Congress could not have happened without his purposive, action-oriented leadership. The Bicolano lawmaker was referring to Romualdez lauding his fellow congressmen's efforts the past few months, which have resulted in their high production in terms of measures passed with their oversight function. Overall, the House approved 61 of the 64 priority measures that the President had endorsed in his previous State of the Nation addresses or identified with the Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes for today's broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates. Same time and same station. Once again, this is Rolf Suzanabay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP.